Hey YouTube, I want to make a video real quick on some double stroke roll exercises. This is kind of in response to a guy who posted a video, was having trouble with this, and I wanted to clarify some things on some comments I made. So, you were practicing this, you were starting your whole thing at 60 BPM, so I'm going to do the same, just to make sure you're on the same page here. I'm going to make it so that my metronome is counting 16th notes. Sounds like this. And I think you understood the accenting the second part. So it's pretty straightforward. You just do that, and you speed it up gradually. You had a question about whether or not you use your fingers or your wrist for the accented second stroke, and you want to practice it both ways. That way you can practice it, or you can play it cleanly on something that has, a lot of rebound, like a snare drum or a hi-hat, or you can practice it or play it on something that has no rebound, like a floor tom or something, like a huge tom or something. I mean, right now this is like a towel. I think that's a sock, a towel, and a pillowcase that's folded, so it has it's dead. And that's definitely much harder. If you really practice doing it with your wrists and not using your fingers, you don't want to squeeze the stick when you're doing that, but just don't use your fingers any more than you have to, and just use your wrist. You'll definitely, this will probably start to hurt up in here, depending on how strong your grip is already. It's probably might start burning up in here when you really start working your forearms more. And that just comes with practice, man. It's gonna be uncomfortable for a while, and just kind of keep at it. And I noticed in your video, yeah, you seem to play more like this. So one thing I noticed, and this is actually in a Dave Weckl video, and if you're not familiar with Dave Weckl, check him out. He's amazing. And he's talking about how if he's doing double strokes, the first stroke is more of like a wrist, and then he closes his fingers. And I don't play like he does. But that's kind of what I was talking about in my comment. You want to you're going to get used to, or you want to practice so that you get really strong at closing your fingers like that, so you can. That's how you get the second stroke to be accented with your fingers. And definitely make sure you're using all your fingers for that, and you're not you leaving your pinky out of it. I know a lot of guys, they'll actually practice doing, their stuff they'll add each finger one at a time, or they'll just do each finger individually, and that's something that I've never practiced, but I probably should. That'll definitely make each finger stronger, and then when you add them all together, you'll be flying. I should probably practice that more. And that's really it. As you speed it up, you're going to want to probably practice it so that the accented stroke, the second stroke, you're going to want to practice it so that it lands on the click, on the 1. This is 140. This is what it'll sound like. 1. 1. 1. It just seems like it's easier for me to play along with the metronome that way. Hopefully that makes sense. I can clarify that a little more if you need to in another comment or something. And it kind of seems to me that I think I could probably get to 160 and still try to really be accenting the second stroke. Is 160. And take your time. Don't try to rush it. You'll just get frustrated. And after a while, you don't really. I think once you're playing it pretty clean at 160 or around there, you could probably start just not really trying to accent the second stroke. It should just sound pretty even if you want to. This is 140. And that's really it. The only other tip I would give you is definitely practice this rudiment and all other rudiments starting with your left hand, especially if that's not your dominant hand. A lot of people, and me included, they practice all the rudiments starting with the right stick every time, and you're going to want to make sure you put in the time to start them with your left as well. Otherwise, you'll just get used to the right hand always being on the 1, and that's not good. Make sure you practice it both ways. That'll also help you focus on both hands being the same. Making sure you're playing it in the same spot and your accuracy is good. All those types of things matter. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions about it or I need to explain something further, let me know. Hopefully that helps, guys. Later.